We say the presentation of history alone can demobilize the people completely. Just by this filthy, vicious system presenting history to our people, it has completely demobilized them. There are people without a past. They've done absolutely nothing. They have no hope. Whatever life comes is the best thing in America, and that's all they have. They better like it. And they even become arrogant about it. Not only does the system make them stupid, it makes them arrogant in their stupidity. Brother, you say, what God doesn't know about Africa? What's that going to do for me? Arrogant in their stupidity. So when we come to talk about history in America, just like everything, it's a fight. I mean, it's not just a fight to make your history, it's a fight even for you to understand your history. I gave you two glaring examples. I gave you one that occurs all the time. You hear about the struggle in Ireland all the time, and only 4 people in the classroom knew that this struggle is 800 years old. Yet you hear it every day. You go to school, you've been in college, you see how they treat you? They teach you nothing, and then they let you think you're intelligent. And now I give you an idea about Africa. And not only do Africans in America not know about Africa, white people in America don't know nothing about Africa. And Africa, everyone knows, is the civilization of all of humanity. I mean, everyone knows that. So I just give you examples. When they tell me come and talk about history in America, I say, wow, that's a fight there, Jack. I mean, so we have to fast tell you some things about. But listen, my job is, I'm not a teacher like they teach you at these bourgeois institutions. My job is not to come and give you information and then you regurgitate and I clap. Oh, you said back what I said to you very well. That's not my job. My job is to inspire you to want to know something about the forces that control your life. That's my job. Understand? So the success on me isn't what you regurgitate, but the success for me is what you put inside your head for yourself once I leave you. But let me tell you about this history thing now. The people must make history, so they must fight for their freedom. They must fight for their freedom, either consciously or unconsciously. So you must use history as a weapon to make you conscious. You must use history as a weapon to make you conscious. Let me give you some examples. Anyone who is not holding Africa in great respect in the world knows nothing of world history. World history. Knows nothing of world civilization. World civilization. Not African history. Not African civilization. Since Africa was the cradle of humanity, Africa has made contributions in every aspect of life. Thus, in any aspect of life that you examine, you will see Africans' contributions. Let me give you only one. I give you Africa's contributions in the area of religions. Now, you know, there's no society without religion, not one. Every society has religion, of course. These religions vary widely in form, you know, but they have the same fundamental purpose, to impose moral obligation on man and woman. That's their purpose. So, if you will look at Africa's contributions to world religions, they're overwhelming. I mean, in the first instance, Africa gave to the world monotheism, belief in one God. It was Africa that gave this to the world. And if you would take a look, you will see when Africa was practicing monotheism, belief in one God, you will see that nowhere else in the world was it being practiced. To the east of Africa, they were worshiping the sun. To the north of Africa, in Palestine, they were worshiping idols. And they would do so until the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon his name, came in the 6th century AD to give them monotheism. Africa gave monotheism to the world, belief in one God. Do you know most Africans who are Christians, which is a monotheistic religion, don't even know this? Judaism, chronologically speaking, the first religion that preached monotheism, the first universal religion preaching belief in one God, was given to the world by Africa. Do you know that not only do Africans not know this, but non-Africans who are Jewish of the Jewish religion do not know this? The Bible tells you, if you don't know the color of Moses, you don't quibble about it. The Bible tells you that Moses married an Ethiopian woman by the name of Hannah. And the word Ethiopia is a Greek word. It means land of burnt faces. Sigmund Freud, in the last book he wrote entitled Moses and Monotheism, shows you himself that Moses was an African. It's in his book. That's a book they even hide from you and say it's terrible what they do to you. It's terrible. I mean, you got to want to know, and then you got to find out how to know. Yeah, but any man, any woman seeking the truth will always find it. Any man, any woman seeking the truth will always find it. Africa's contributions to Christianity were outstanding. When Jesus Christ, peace be upon his name, was in trouble, everybody was trying to kill him, it was Africa that gave him refuge. Nowhere else wanted to give it to him, only Africa. It was here that he grew up in his early life, and of course, since Africa already had monotheism for centuries, by the time Jesus Christ came along, nowhere else in the world had it. It was very easy for him to grow intellectually, spiritually, and physically in Africa. That's where he spent his youth. The first church in the world comes out of Africa. The first monastery in the world comes out of Africa. The very intellectual development of the church comes out of Alexandria, which is in Egypt, which still is in Africa. The first country mentioned in the Bible, Genesis 2, verse 13, is Ethiopia. Depending upon your version of the Bible, it might be spelled Cush, C-U-S-H, or Cush, K-U-S-H. If you will look at any authoritative source, you will know that Cush is the ancient name for Ethiopia. As a matter of fact, when you read about Cushite in the Bible, it's all about you. Yeah. These are clear facts. This is your history. Because of the way the system teaches you history, you do not even make these connections. Chinese say if you make a mistake, and you know it's a mistake, and you don't correct the mistake, you've made your second mistake. If you will look at the life of Jesus Christ, peace be upon his name, if you will look at the history of Christianity, you will see that Jesus Christ, peace be upon his name, could be just about any color, but the one color he could never be is the color they always paint him, white. He never saw Europe. He never put his foot in it. All of the descriptions of him in the Bible are far from white, bronze, hair like a lamb's wool. I mean, every aspect of it. Every aspect of it. If you know anything about the history of Christianity, you know that Christianity didn't arrive in Europe until 400 years after the death of Jesus Christ. Peace be upon his name. And it was taken not by him, not by the disciples, but by the apostles who came along after the disciples. All this is history. You see the effect history can have upon you? Do you know the debilitating effect it must have upon the minds of Africans bowing down before a white Jesus, thinking that this is the Son of God, and all it is the uncle of the artist who painted the picture? Do you know the superiority effect it has upon the minds of white looking at the picture? History, we say, is a powerful weapon in the hands of the enemy. The people must come to grab their history themselves. But if we said anything today in our brief remarks, we hope we've told you this. Number one, history is going to be made eternally, based on the just instincts of human beings. We tell you that history is made not by any one great man or woman, but is made by all the people, that you yourself make history. And we tell you make history either consciously or unconsciously. And that it is your responsibility to consciously make history. And we say history is nothing other than the total and constant progress of humanity and civilization. Thus we will stop here and take some remarks. We did tell you some things about Africa, just to show you her contributions to humanity, and to show you that you should know these things and the effect they can have upon your life. So I think we can stop here and just take questions.
You're listening to Kwame Ture, the former Stokely Carmichael, on Black History. This is Alternative Radio. You can order copies of this program by calling us at 1-800-444-1977. Or you can go to our website, alternativeradio.org. Again, our website, alternativeradio.org. Stay tuned at the end for complete details on ordering.